was 20 years with Blue Funnels. I've been a member of the association for about a couple of 2 or 3 years now. And I live in Martin's Park now over in Wallasey, so there's a few of us come over each month. It's a lost world now. We're just talking now about 64 years ago when we sailed on the Telemachus, and we sailed in February 1950, and we were away for 14 months.
It's supposed to have been a 2 to 3 month voyage, we finished up going to Australia and Singapore, backwards and forwards. But it was a bit of a shock, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a shock.
It was supposed to be a short trip, And so the boss told me anyway.
Yes. Because Shanghai, Singapore, Australian one. I think we did 2 trips before we saw home again. But
carried the elephants. We had an elephant. We used to take it for walks around the deck.
Yeah.
We had a few animals, didn't we? We had a bear. We had a little bear. We used to feed it.
That was the trip we carried racehorses out to Singapore. We carried 2 racehorses out to Singapore, and then there was a circus owner was up in Malaya looking for animals, and he had a baby. He brought a baby elephant and a honey bear. And the apprentices, I was one of the apprentices. We had the job of feeding and watering them.
I started off engineer steward, I finished up captain steward. Rapid promotion. He was a bit of a tartar, the captain, wasn't he? Terrible man he was. I managed to get on with him all right, but nobody else did.
No, my last ship was 150,000 tons, and I had a crew of 23. Change days. We used to have as much time in port as we had at sea in those days. And the last 2 or 3 years I was at sea, we were lucky if you get 10 days in port and a 6-month voyage.
Some ports in Australia were weeks when there was strikes.
Nothing about 10 days in Sydney. 10 days in Melbourne. I shore every night.
I paid off in debt on that voyage.
We always paid off in debt.
Yeah. I had to go back to work right away.
We all had hobbies in those days. You played darts, dominoes, cards. It was an entirely different way of life because there was no television. You didn't hear from home for the first month. And that's if you were lucky.
The mail had to be sent out to different places. I remember we got mail off the HMS Telemachus, the submarine. We got by mistake, got a bag of mail from a warship. They must have got ours.
Because we were in port quite a long time on those ships. You had more off-duty time, so you made more friendships, you had time. You organised football. Each ship, if it was anything, you had a football team, and you played. You got to Singapore, and the mission to seamen was always keen to organise football matches.
It was all about 3 or 4 blue funnel boats in Singapore. We used to play each other, We were quite busy. Singapore was busy in those days.
My son got it off the internet for me, but in actual fact, people don't realise just how big a company Blue Funnel was. There's a photograph, and Singapore in one day had 5 Blue Funnel ships tied up alongside, and just in one port in the world, and they were all over the world. But there was a care and the Perseus, the Pyrrhus, and then 3 A-boats, all tied up in Singapore at the one time.
There's usually two homeward and 2 outward, and then and the Australian ships in between. Yeah, we're always busy.
I mean, they don't realise, the amount of trade there was. I mean, Blue Funnel at that time had specialised ships. They carried pilgrims from Malaya and Indonesia to Jeddah. Some of the A-boats were specially built with twin-deck accommodation for pilgrims, and when we first joined, they had the old Tiberius, which is a passenger ship, which was purely employed on the pilgrim trade.